Hi, and welcome to this edition of the Chat Zone. I'm your host, Donna Ritchie, and I have a very, very special guest here today. We're going to be talking about the 21st century woman, and you do not want to turn that dial. You want to listen to what we have to say. She's the author of The Corporate Woman at Home Mom, and her name is Ursula Tara Davis. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Donna. So happy to be here.
Thank you for being here. I am so excited about your book. Let's already get started in this book. How did you come up with the corporate woman at home mom?
Well, actually, when I thought to come home off of my job over 20 years ago, I was in corporate America. I decided to go home and homeschool my children. What you don't realize as a woman when you're making those type of decisions, re-entering the job market. And because of the 21st century technology and all of the different opportunities we have today, I realized that things had changed. And what I decided to do was to re-enter the market, educate myself, and position myself for this new world and this new phase for women for the 21st century. And I was so excited as I began to study and research that I decided to compile a book to help other women who have made that decision to re-enter the market, or women who are professional entrepreneurs, or women who are staying at home, teaching their children at home, or whether they're working from home and still a mom. So that's what motivated me to write the book.
So being a stay-at-home mom, you still considered a corporate mom?
Yes, because corporate actually means a body, a group of people. And whether you're in corporate America or whether you're in your home, you're still influencing, you're still making decisions, you're still budgeting, you're a professional at all times. And so I think because I was a very professional woman back in that time, I believe that I took the skills that I had and I incorporated them into my home. And I got excellent results.
Now you talk about the change that happened once you re-entered the corporate world. What was that change?
I think that the opportunities that were available back when I made the decision to come home, we did not have technology like what we have today. We did not have a 5-day work weeks where maybe 4 of them are at home, 1 in the office. The choices that the 21st century women have today, it allows them to be able to reach a lot of their goals and dreams while still staying at home watching their children. So they don't have to compromise whether I should work or whether I should stay home. So they don't feel guilty when they go off to work and maybe leave the children at the daycare.
Well, what would you tell a woman? Because typically most women that I've talked to that have children, especially newborns, they feel so guilty going back to work and leaving their little ones.
Well, I think that what you have to do, when you look at my book, I know that everything there is pertaining to a woman is written in that book.
Yes.
Every woman's decision and life is individual. You can't really look at your life and judge it by someone else's. We have different resources available to us. So you have to analyze your position. What goals do you have in life? Where do you work? What are your skills? Do you have the type of job that allows you to stay at home? Because maybe some of the guilt could be because you can actually do the job that you're doing at home. And you decide to go to the office. So I think that the resources that we have available determines, and you look at your own individual life and you analyze what you have. First of all, if it's someone near and dear to you that's watching your baby, like your husband, why should you feel guilty?
Right.
Because we now have stay-at-home dads. That's something that we did not have available to us 20 years ago.
Well, now you talk about parenting and the support system.
Yes.
How important is it to have a great support system?
I think that whether you're married or single, because a lot of women have chosen to do single parenting. And I don't think that is a reflection on her ability to get the job done.
Yes.
I think that you use your resources, and if the father wants to be a part of that, I think working opposite shifts, I think both of them being responsible in the financial commitment of childcare, all of that plays a part. I don't think that one person in parenting should carry the whole load. I think that each person should look at what they have, what their desires are, and this is why a lot of men have decided to stay at home so that that family balance could be what it needs to be. So if that woman is an executive and if she's making more money than he is, because it really does not matter if, say, for instance, she's making $250,000 a year and he's making $40,000 or $50,000 a year, and he's okay with that, because you have to have that support system. Yes, you have to have a person who's secure in their own skin and realize that that family is a unit. It really doesn't matter who's making the money. It doesn't matter who's cooking, who's cleaning, because these are our children. And if you have that type of support system, I don't see anything wrong with the woman going to work and the husband watching the children.
Well, what do you say to those women, or even to the men who have a problem with the salary differences?
Well, I think that the salary really, I know today we talk a lot about equal pay, but I think that your salary has a lot to do with experience, education, and your skill sets, which you actually bring to the table. I think that men have a greater opportunity to be in a relationship and really design their career path. If you're having children, you have to take out time to have the baby.
Yes, you do.
Even if you decide to go back to work after the baby. And so they're working consistently. So normally a woman has to strategically plan her life and say, I'm going to go to school, or I'm going to go to work, and I'm going to have a child at 35. You know how we have parenting. You parent. What I would like to say is you plan it a little differently. You can actually plan it, because you can kind of like manipulate when you have children today.
Well, you can now.
So, in doing that, I think that you have the ability now where it seemed like the man could just go straight through, go to school, get a job, work, and not have any breaks. Now you can actually plan that same schedule for yourself. So I honestly think that the 21st century, again, technology, medical, all of these resources that we have available helps us as women to realize our goals and our dreams.
Wow, that is awesome. Yes. I can't wait to talk some more about this book. I hope that you're gleaning some great information from our conversation. We're going to have more of the Chat Zone right after this, so don't go away. Thank you for watching the Chat Zone. We'll be right back.
Looking for a professional painter and drywall contractor? Then look no more. Colores is licensed and insured and will make sure your home is beautiful, whether you want the whole house painted on the outside or just 2 rooms inside. No job is too big or small. Contact Colores Painting at 704-320-5736. That's 704-320-5736. Are you tired of being sick? Try our amazing alkaline water. Come visit us at the Water Depot, 3312 Highway 21, Unit 102, Fort Mill, South Carolina 29715, or visit us online at DonnaRitchie.com or unforgettablewater.com. Change your water, change your health. Thank you for tuning in to the Chat Zone. We're back with author Ursula Tara Davis, and she's the author of The Corporate Woman at Home.Mom. Now, what if you've heard us even prior to the commercial? I don't want you to get the impression that this is like a feminist move, because even when I read the book, I didn't get that. You know, that I'm woman, hear me roar. It's not a book like that. It's a book about empowering women and just understanding your role as a woman in the 21st century. And the 21st century woman, and I don't know if you might even agree with me, the 21st century woman, for the most part, we're not interested in bashing men.
Oh, no, we don't have any reason to be.
No.
Now, I appreciate what the feminist movement did in terms of bringing awareness to women's rights, equal rights.
Right.
But I believe that time period did what it needed to do to set the stage and the platform because we've had women running for presidents.
Mhm.
We have women who are CEOs of Fortune 500 and Fortune 100 companies.
Mhm.
So I think that that platform actually set the stage for the success that we can have today
Mhm.
as women.
Mhm. Yeah, because we need our men.
Yes, we
And
do.
we want to be an encouragement to them. We don't want to bash them,
Yes.
and as a 21st century woman, you don't want to rub it in their face that if you make more money than they do, or if you do a little bit more than they do, you don't want to rub that in, because typically the real man, he doesn't do that to us.
Well, it's so funny. I have one chapter
Hmm.
in that book entitled Dominance of a Man.
Yes.
And the title of the chapter is kind of deceiving, because the first thing a woman would say is, I'm taking charge of my life.
Hmm.
But dominance talks about his character and how he represents himself. It has nothing to do with being dominant over a woman.
Right.
And so I think that when both people who are mature understand their position in a relationship, and you're setting a goal for your family, and you're prioritizing those goals, your objective really should be to meet the goals.
Right, right.
So again, that's the focus. The
Mhm.
focus on what can we do to make our family a better family.
And that's the mindset that we should have as women, especially when we have men.
Yes.
When we have our husbands, you want to have that type mindset where you work as a team.
Yes.
That's what makes it work.
And he has to be a team player. I've been
Right.
with my husband for 30 years.
Hmm.
So I'm a woman who has had the opportunity to have a longevity marriage.
Right.
I have 3 children, and I understand the different seasons that you experience in your life.
That's
So
important.
I think that sometimes when women come home and have a baby, they think that that's it. So that's, why sometimes women need to understand it's just a season.
Right.
And the way you and your partner planned it will determine your outcome.
Now I remember when I was doing the mommy thing.
Yes.
My daughter's 19 now, but and typically you don't even think like it's a season, but when you look back in retrospect, or when I look back in retrospect, it is a season.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And most women don't think like that. They think this is something that I'm going to have to do forever.
Exactly.
Mhm.
But children do grow.
Yes.
I have a daughter 28 years old. I have one 26, and I have one 25. And that's why I can tell you I was so excited to re-enter the job market and position myself to the continuation of my career and my goals and my dreams. And that's why I think that if you look at it that way, again, your support system and being able to prioritize your priorities,
Yes.
that's one of the chapters in there.
Yes.
And what helps you prioritize your priorities is when you set your goals and you set your objectives and your dreams, you have to strategically plan how you're going to get it accomplished. And so that team and your husband being a team player,
Right.
being in the 21st century with technology and stay-at-home dads, if he was to decide to stay at home, he's not alone.
Right.
He has a whole support group of dads. They have a very sophisticated organization for stay-at-home dads that give tips on child rearing, lunch, how to take care of the fussy toddler.
Right.
So a lot of the resources that we have available today wasn't available over 20 years ago. So the baby boomers did not have what Generation X has. And I'm kind of like in the middle. I'm at the end of the baby boomers and the beginning of Generation X. So that's why I'm so excited, and I put emphasis on the opportunities that we have available at the 21st century.
Well, how do you maintain being yourself through all of this process, all the different seasons? How do you maintain being you?
Okay, I think that we all have different types of roles that we play. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a businesswoman. I'm an author. I'm a financier. And each one of these positions
And
that
you
I
can
play,
add juggler to that.
and I mentioned that you have to handle time management very well.
Yeah.
You have to have a schedule. You do have to use a calendar. You do have to communicate your schedule to others, all those people who are involved. It's not easy, but it's worth doing, because when you do that, at the same time, you're learning and you're growing and you're accomplishing and achieving your goals, and that way you stay focused and you stay positive and you stay motivated while you're at home with the baby. If you know that this is a season, then you can enjoy it. And then you can look at them grow and get their teeth in and go through the teething process, the terrible twos and the acquisitive fours. And I talk about those things, in the book. And when I made the choice to stay at home with my children, I was very excited, and that's what prompted me to homeschool. Okay. And if I had known what I know today in terms of the opportunities that we have available, I could have planned a little better than what I did. And so I think that's what's important, to be able to look into the future. And what we have today is some powerful women doing powerful things. And I think that it's fantastic to be able to work from home and still be an executive.
Well, what about those women who set goals, and you're not going to meet the goals every day that you set out, but they beat themselves up over that?
Well, it's funny that you say that. This book is very inspirational and motivational because women are influencers. Yes. We are powerful people. And so if you have a negative image of yourself, and that's what you are projecting, you're going to affect the area that you are in. You're going to affect your home. You're going to affect, that's why you have to think positive. You have to understand that home would not function without you.
Hey,
you have to understand that job would not function as well if you were not allowed to bring your personal goals and your skill sets and your personality and your wisdom and all those things that it takes. One of the things that I talk about in the book is, even if you are at home with your children, do you know when your children grow up, you place your stamp on them? Your stamp. Yes. This is your child. When we see your child interacting, when we see your child's accomplishments, it has your seal of approval. Even though our children grow up and do some things that we don't approve of, the point of the matter is, when you look at them, they are an extension of you. Your family unit is just as important as corporate America because you have that opportunity to run your house, have a budget, set goals, be influential, encourage them, take care of them. It's just an awesome opportunity. So the way I look at being a corporate woman, it's not just in corporate America. It's also at home, running this little body, this little group that you're running. And even if you don't have children and you're a stay-at-home wife, this is why a lot of the women do volunteer work.
Okay, we'll hold that thought. We'll be back right after this. Thank you for watching the Chat Zone. We'll be right back.
Looking for a professional painter and drywall contractor? Then look no more. Colores is licensed and insured and will make sure your home is beautiful, whether you want the whole house painted on the outside or just 2 rooms inside. No job is too big or small. Contact Colores Painting at 704-320-5736. That's 704-320-5736.
Hi, my name is Koi Chu. I am a licensed senior advocate for Senior Advocacy Services. There are over 10,000 people turning 65 every single day, and there is not enough information for our seniors regarding Medicare, Medicaid, and the different types of plans that are available to them. Well, our job is to assist you in making one of the most educated decisions and one of the most important decisions that you may make in your life. Please give us a call at 704-713-3434, and we can assist you through this process. We have licensed advocates standing by to assist you right now. Call us at 704-713-3434.
Thank you for tuning in to the Chat Zone. We're back and we're talking with author Ursula Tara Davis, and we're talking about the 21st century woman. Let's get into this subject because you talk about it in your book, Defining Women in the 21st Century.
I think that is interesting when we look at the opportunities that we have available for women. I find that one of the areas of concern for women is equal pay. And I noticed that in 2010, we had 27 women who were actually CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. And that's a very low number here in North America. And I was thinking that if more women were interested in some of the higher paying jobs,
Mhm.
like your pharmacists, doctors,
Lawyers.
lawyers.
Mhm.
If they would get the education and the skill set and then apply, I think we would see that number move um, probably double
Mhm.
if they really knew that they could position themselves
Mhm.
to do that.
Mhm.
I think that we've been programmed to think that we're just school teachers, and there's nothing wrong with being a teacher because we're a teacher whether we're a teacher by profession.
Mhm.
But I think that when we talk about equal pay
Mhm.
and being able to be high income earners, we really need to step out of the box
Mhm.
and do some things that are more challenging.
Why do you think a lot of women do not step out of the box?
I really think, to be perfectly honest, if we would interview some of these CEOs
Yes.
and find out the process, I think we simply just don't know how to do it.
Right.
I think we don't know.
How do we learn to do that?
Well, today we have the internet,
Mhm.
and what I do like is you can go to any website and learn about these professional women who are CEOs of corporations and see what their career path was.
Okay.
I think that education is important and self-esteem and hard work.
Okay.
And I think that a lot of times when it's the more difficult fields, how do you become a doctor? How do you become an attorney? How do you become a financier?
Mhm.
Those are the areas that we really don't talk about enough. And when we go to school, we'll go to nursing school.
Right. I was gonna say
You know,
nursing school
We'll go
is one of the
to
main.
school,
Uh-huh.
but we don't think about being the doctor. We think
True.
the nurse.
Yes.
Okay, and so when you do that, just like even in any other field,
Mhm.
I think that we have to see ourselves there, and we are capable of doing that.
Mhm.
And I just want to encourage women today.
Mhm.
I want them to know that they can do whatever they set their mind to do, but they have to be willing to do the work. They have to be willing to get the education. They have to be willing to make themselves available and to work hard.
Mhm.
It's not going to be easy, but I believe that it's going to be worth it when they see the results.
Well, not only are you an author and a wife, but you have had this firsthand experience because your daughters are just, they are experts. They're like the experts of experts, and it's all because of you.
Well, I think that I don't want to take all the credit because they actually had to do the work.
Well, yeah. Well, you taught them how to work,
Right.
And that work ethic.
Right.
You've placed that in them.
Well, my oldest daughter, she was the first student to graduate with 3 degrees, summa cum laude.
Wow.
She has 3 bachelors.
Mhm.
She has a bachelor's in economics.
Mhm.
She has a bachelor's in finance, and she has a bachelor's in music business and technology.
Mhm.
She's a designated principal today.
Mhm.
She
Wow.
carries a Series 6, 63, 7, 24, and she's now working on a dual major,
Wow.
getting her master's in international business.
Mhm.
And what I think is really important is the fact that she's under 30.
Wow.
And she has accomplished more in such a short time period
Mhm.
because she was focused and she had goals.
Mhm.
My second daughter, and her name is Francois,
Mhm.
she's a law student, and she also has 2 bachelor's degrees.
Wow.
And she has a degree in finance and
Mhm.
political science.
Mhm.
And they're kind of like working on a second career.
Mhm.
My oldest daughter, her name is Tatiana, by the way, I didn't mention her name, but they are very humble. And what I like is they have approached male-dominant fields
Mhm.
on their own.
Wow.
They decided,
Really?
I want to go to law school.
Mhm.
This is what Francois decided
Mhm.
after she got her bachelor's degree.
Mhm.
And she graduated cum laude.
Wow.
So we're talking about young women who I watch them set their goals and achieve their goals,
Mhm.
and they're up under the age
Mhm.
of 30.
Okay.
So I know that it's possible because I can see if more women would position themselves
Mhm.
and plan out their goals and their dreams and get the necessary education,
Mhm.
the sky is the limit. We would have more CEOs, we would have more doctors, we would have more lawyers, and then we don't have to complain about the income as much.
Right. Well, when you read this book, what is the main takeaway that you want your readers to know about?
I want my readers to understand that this book is really for a woman between the ages of 18 and 100.
Oh,
Because
wow.
this book covers every aspect of a woman's life. And I think that is very motivational and inspirational. And sometimes women tend to think they have it all together and they don't need to learn anything else.
I always say, as long as you're living, there's room to learn.
That's
The day
right.
that you stop learning is the day you die.
And I believe that too.
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons why when I re-entered the job market, I had to go back to school. I had to learn about what's going on in corporate America today so that I would be suitable for the positions that I applied for. So if we look at continuing education in our lives, in our personal lives, I think that all women will see their potential and realize how influential they are, how powerful they are, and how they can accomplish any goal or dream if they set their minds to it.
I really like that point because you really can when you set your mind to it. I always say, if once my mind is made up, you might as well say I'm there. You know, because it starts in your mind first.
Yes.
And it's very important. You teach about self-esteem in this book. You teach about so many things that we as women we encounter, even those things that we don't even like to talk about.
Well, that's true. And you know what? Another thing I wanted to mention with my three daughters. I have my baby daughter. Her name is Natasha. Natasha, she's currently in college, but she's a manager and she's in retail. And what I like is each one of my daughters have their own identity. They've always supported each other, and we created that type of atmosphere where they don't have to compete, where everything that they do is important, and they all feel good about their accomplishments.
Right.
And I have a grandson too, and I'm very excited.
And he's adorable.
Yes, he is, and his name is Grayson.
Uh-huh.
And but I just wanted to say this. I'm very proud of my family at large. My husband is very supporting.
Yes.
His name is James Davis Jr. And I know being a man and being in a house with four women could be challenging. Going back to some of the things that you were saying about how do a man feel when you make more money. I'm not saying that I make more money than him because I don't. But what I am saying is that he has been very supportive to us as women. And he's not intimidated by the intelligence. He's not intimidated by the goals that we have set because he's very successful too, and he's secure in his own manhood. And so going back to that support system, I don't think I could have been able to accomplish these things without his support. And I just, want every woman to know the support system is different for everyone. So if you just use the resources that you have, you can obtain your goal and your dream.
Yes. Well, I want to thank you for being a part of the chat zone. You have been so enlightening, so encouraging, so educational. And I really appreciate that. And I hope that you've enjoyed this program as much as I have, because I certainly have. And I want you to get her book. It's called The Corporate Woman at Home Mom, The 21st Century Woman, and it's author Ursula Tara Davis. So on behalf of myself, Donna Ritchie, in the chat zone, we'll see you later. Have a great day.